What's up, Av Geeks and STOL Freaks? Welcome to another beautiful day here at Sun and Fun 2025. We are joining you from just feet from the runway here at Paradise City in the National STOL booth, getting ready to talk to some great aviators. My name is Ryan Dembroski, joined by Cam Walton.
Good afternoon.
And we're going to talk first. They've got the hats that show. We've got Joel Dopson and Matt Peterson, Cessna 172 pilots, part of the STOL Invitational demo team. So you guys are bringing up the certificated side of things.
That's right.
And great to see you both. Let's talk a little bit about what it's like to what's different about the 172s that you two run.
Joel, you want to start because you're here with your plane. I am here line judging. My plane, of course, I'm having my motor rebuilt right now by Airworks in Alabama. And so Chris and the gang have got them. So I don't have an airplane right now, but I'm the line judge. And so I was judging Joel, just last night. You did a great job.
Thanks for judging
Joel,
me.
Good. Yes, very judgy. It's my job to be judgy.
I felt judged.
Good.
So what year is yours, Matt? What year is your 172?
1957.
57.
What's
So my
yours?
first one was a 57. This is a 1956, and they are different. I don't know if you got bush wheels yet. I got 31-inch bush wheels. That's maybe different for now. I got an 0360 Lycoming engine, and he's about to put, he's going to modify his engine with Airworks, like he said. And then I got a carbon composite Hartzell Trailblazer prop. You've already got the Sportsman STOL. You got the VGs?
I got the Sportsman STOL sitting in the hangar, and I'll be putting the VGs on just as soon as I get the Sportsman STOL kit put on. As you know, I'm working on my A&P, so I'll be doing most of my work myself. I pulled the motor myself.
Wow.
Brought it to the shop myself. Dropped it off myself, and I'll go back and pick it up myself and then put it back on.
You've been working out to do that?
You know what's really funny, and I'm going to give a big shout out to former Marine Chris, who runs the Airworks shop. That dude's jacked, man.
He
looks
doesn't
like
need an engine hoist.
Motor up. Like he looked like he could just pick the motor up and just take it out of the truck. You know, I mean,
he is an engine hoist.
Dude.
Okay.
Oh man, but a real fine fella, real nice guy.
I want to interrupt you because neither of you mentioned the one thing that makes your 172s like very different.
Paint.
No, I think he means the fact that they all started their lives as nose draggers.
Thank you.
And then,
yes, that is important.
Then some smart person went and turned them into a Taildragger. And I just finished being up with Jordan Greif in Rome, Georgia. Now that I'm retired, I can do this kind of thing. And I took my plane and my camper to Rome, Georgia. And over the course of about 2 months, I did about 2.5 weeks worth of work up there. That, of course, all counted towards my A&P. If I never drill out another rivet in my entire life, it'll be fine. But Jordan and I worked on it, and then he took the old Frazzle STC. Jordan has renamed it the Tailhawk. STC, with great name. Isn't that a great name?
Yeah.
Isn't that a
It
great
is
name?
a great
Really
name.
good.
It beats Fravel all day.
Oh, yeah. And we documented all of that and put it on, social media. And he called me up, and actually, if you could hold this,
I will hold.
You hold the top,
put
I'll
him to
hold the
work,
bottom.
man.
I am going to put him to work. So this is my poster from this year.
I'll hold this poster. I got you.
This picture was taken the day I came to pick the plane up. Now, I already had a Taildragger. I've got a good bit of Taildragger time already, but that was my plane that used to be a nose dragger. You can still see, and they're not painted yet, you can still see where the main gear used to be and where my brand new main gear is now up front. Nothing's painted. It's fresh out of the factory, okay? You can still see the rivets down the side because the Tailhawk STC actually has structure that goes all the way up into the fuselage. And then Jordan is a T3 tail wheel dealer, so I got a real good deal on a T3 tail wheel, and I got to tell you, the hydraulic tail wheel Tundras out here with Josh and all those guys, these hydraulic tail wheels, I've flown a couple of different 170s with spring tail gear, and I am telling you, hydraulic tail wheels make a huge difference. When you're coming in and that tail hits, it's done. C'est fini. Halas. I don't know what other language you want me to say it in, but that tail wheel is done. Now, are you running a hydraulic tail wheel on your bird?
I'm getting it next month. I had it on my last one.
There we
I've got
go.
the bracket. I've got the T3 tail shock, the new T3X or whatever they're calling it. I'm also getting new gear legs.
Oh, nice.
But like Ryan mentioned, these airplanes started with a nose wheel, and you just converted yours. Mine was converted in the 80s. But they came from the 170B, so we share the same fuselage and wing as a 170B. Okay. They put on a straight tail, and then they put on a nose wheel, and they moved the gearbox back. So then there was a 170B to the 172, and Cessna, for 2 iterations, they made a 170C. So it was a straight tail Taildragger of a 170B, and that's kind of what we're flying today, is a 170C or a 172 Taildragger.
That's right, and it takes the STC, obviously. You got to have a special type certificate. One thing I do like about Jordan Greif, who owns the Tailhawk STC, he's 32 years old. He is a baby. He is going to be holding on to this STC for a while, and
servicing it properly.
And he answers the phone when you call him. That is the greatest. And if he's an aerial firefighter by trade, so if he's out fighting fires, he's not going to pick up then.
Right.
But as soon as he gets down, he's down there to answer your questions. I have had no questions for Jordan since I got my tail wheel conversion. I love it. I've gotten my landings down to under 150 feet already. I did.
I gotta watch out.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, I love
Wow.
it. I love it. Well, you bring it in, and the T3 tail wheel just dies, and then you drop the flaps, and it all just settles in. And it does beautifully. I love it.
So
that's great. That is great. Please, come on. That's why we're here. Have fun, camp out, compete.
Just wait till I get that new motor, man. Ooh, that new motor's gonna be great. But anyway.
So Jordan did your tail wheel conversion. It's called the Tailhawk conversion.
The Tailhawk.
Okay. So Joel, yours. You said that Jordan is in his 30s, so
yes.
He's born in the 80s.
That's right.
Or maybe early 90s. I can't math very well.
That's right.
Joel, yours already had yours done in the 80s, so you had the Texas tail wheel conversion?
Well, no, so Texas tail wheel I think is for 150s and 152s. It's a Bolin. So Bob and Barbara Williams owned the Bolin conversion, and they did not service it very well, like Jordan is going to do with this Fravel. You couldn't get a hold of them, and they're still around, and they might sell you one, but there's no parts to be had. So the former Fravel, now Tailhawk, owned by Jordan, is the choice. So if you've got a 172 and you want to switch it over, that's the way to go. But mine is a Bolin conversion. It's a slightly different gearbox, slightly different structure and landing gear attachment points. But they're very similar, and the end result is very similar. His may be a little stronger than mine, and that's a good thing for you.
Yeah, and the next time you see my plane, you'll notice I'm debating. I don't even know if I want to paint the rivets, because you can see where where it goes all the way up into the structure of the fuselage, and I kind of want to leave the cool rivets, clean and open, and let everybody see how far it goes up.
Yeah.
Because as you're showing it to people, you're like, well, no, there's a whole lot going on back here. There's a lot of structure inside here, but you can see it with the new rivets. You can actually see how far it goes up. And it's a real, Jordan is he's a master fabricator, and I worked with him for about 2.5 weeks and learned a lot. And and he actually, because he's an APIA, was actually to sign off on my book, and all the hours that I did working on my plane
Very nice.
went into my book towards my airframe and power plant. But yeah, that was really cool. And so it's going to be kind of neat. I'm really debating whether or not I want to paint those rivets. They look kind of cool too.
I say leave them. Leave them as it is.
Leave them.
You do you, boo. You do you. Do it. We only have a few more minutes, because Joel, you've got to you're hopping home, right?
I'm jumping in the 172 Taildragger. It's about a 4-hour, 5-minute flight. Got a 15-mile-an-hour tailwind up to Chattanooga, Tennessee. There's good weather all the way up there. I'm looking forward to the tailwind and the cool skies up there. So, yeah, off the ground here in about 20 minutes, headed northbound.
Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with us. I gotta ask. We were joking before. Cam said we gotta be careful because if I talk to Joel too much, it's gonna be F-16s the whole time.
What? What are y'all talking about? I haven't even heard a word about that. So yeah, that's great.
I don't know anybody who flew
I mean, I
Fighting
could
Falcon or
talk a
is it
little
Fighting-
while,
used to
but
fly F-16, Joe?
so they say.
So they say, rumored. But with that experience, I guess this is something I was asking. We were asking the unlimited pilots yesterday what experience people can pull. I don't know if I've ever asked this to you. Like, if you had a piece of advice you'd give pilots of 172s, right? People flying those types of planes that you could pull from your professional experience, let's say, what piece of advice would you have for us that we could take away from you?
Well, I mean, the groundwork is knowing your airplane and knowing yourself. So your airplane's going to have limitations. You're going to have limitations. So you got to start with that. But then how to improve or how to fly safely is fly more. And that may cost money. So you can sit in front of a computer and simulator. You can sit in front of a poster on a wall and think about your checklist, think about flying the airplane. But flying and handling the airplane in conditions that you're comfortable but are challenging are really going to, get a feel for the airplane, get a comfort in the airplane so that you're able to now expand what you're thinking about, what's going on, and be more aware and just a better pilot so that you can operate and further expand your capabilities to match those of the airplane. And then, see what you can learn and do better, safer, more performance, get a new rating. I mean, just get out and fly or talk to people and learn from their experience about flying.
That's great advice. That's absolutely great
Awesome.
advice. We have to cut you loose. It's time for you to go. I was going to say go catch your flight, but you're the one
I
doing
will
it.
catch my flight.
Matt's going to stick around. You're going to stick around with us.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back. But thank you so much for taking the time
Thanks,
real quick
Ryan.
before you leave, guys, to talk 172s. We're going to talk about the schedule and Swamp Stole and all
Awesome.
that stuff right up after this.
Thanks, Cam. See you, Matt.
Yep.
Looking for a more affordable entry into bush plane flying? How about paramotoring, aka the dirt bike of the sky? Paramotoring STOL is the next best thing, and this adventure motor that you wear on your back is your ticket to getting airborne quick. At Aviator Paramotor, our 2-week training takes you from zero to hero.
Sunrise this morning, it was beautiful. There was a thin layer of fog flying. It's just like all the stress and all that kind of just floats away. It's really peaceful.
From no experience to feeling confident and competent flying on your own. Let the team at Aviator Paramotor in Lake Wales, Florida teach you your new superpower of running into the sky. Classes are filling up quick, but there are spots available today, so call now. Side effects include, but not limited to, significant life changes, foot drags, ear-to-ear smiles. Find the extreme freedoms of ripping around the skies in your new adventure motor with friends.
And welcome back, everyone, to the National STOL booth here in Paradise City at Sun and Fun 2025. Whew, what a week it's been. We are just a few feet from the runway where you guys have been doing the STOL Invitational.
That's right.
And we are continuing our conversation now with Matt Peterson. We've got the cool demo team pilots line
Absolutely.
judging. But
Isn't that
let's
awesome?
talk now about next week. We were just saying, we're all going home for like
That's right.
a couple days.
2 seconds, literally.
Yeah.
And then we're headed back down. Well, you're staying south.
I'm
I have to go
down
all
there.
the way north and come back down south. Matt, what's happening next week?
What's happening? Swamp Stole 2025. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Okay, so Jennings is very proud to once again lead off the National STOL Series schedule, which is pretty crowded this year. You got to admit. How many events are y'all running this year?
I mean, I have the
12?
schedule right here.
I think it's
11 or
12
12?
events this year.
11
11
cities
events
and
this year.
12 events in 11 cities.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
read that, right?
And Jennings is proud to be leading off the season again with Swamp Stole. We got all kinds of entertainment. You know, it just grows every year. I am no longer the host. I have since turned over those duties to Mr. Adam Gordon, who is right now back in Louisiana working hard, lining up bands. We're going to have a band. I think it's Friday night, Cajun Strong, one of the best Cajun bands you've ever heard. They're going to be playing. And of course, Saturday, I talked with Mr. Tim Gwynn the other day. They have got hundreds of pounds of crawfish lined up. And somebody's going to cook a jambalaya, but it won't be me because I cook jambalaya here Wednesday.
Which
So,
was delicious.
I'm
was-
glad you liked it.
It was good. I was nervous because I'm from Wisconsin and I'm a delicate flower.
I was a little worried about you. I
But
really
enjoyed
was.
it immensely.
Did it make you sweat a little bit?
No.
Was it hot
Not
enough
even
to
a
make
little.
your head sweat? Okay.
No, so maybe next time,
Maybe I need to
give me a little more.
It's
Dial that
plenty
up.
spicy
bam,
too.
put it up a notch.
I digress.
So yeah, we're really pleased. You know, Jennings is just 5 years ago when I founded it. There was no question that if you wanted to have a STOL competition somewhere, Jennings was the place to do it. They had everything. They had the hotels, the grass strip, the food, entertainment. You know, everything was right there. You know, and then right across the street. Have you held a baby alligator yet?
No.
Actually, I haven't.
Guys,
I've been going to this thing for 5 years, man.
this year they have made arrangements to keep the Gator Chateau open late so that, you know, maybe you guys can break away and go hold a baby alligator over at the Gator Chateau with the Jeff Davis Parish Tourism Commission. They'll be glad to have you. And then, you know, you hold a little baby alligator and take a picture, you know, it's all.
There's pictures of you and Katie Waito holding alligators.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We get a picture of us, but like we'll like interlock our arms with the alligators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the-
That'll work. That'd work.
I don't
That'd be
know.
awesome.
Never mind. It's a bad idea. There was a joke in there somewhere. You and me holding alligators. That's
holding
my
alligators.
hope for next week.
Yes.
Holding alligators.
Conservationists.
That's us.
Yes.
Ryan and Cam holding the alligators. That'd
STOL
be great.
alligator conservationists.
STOL alligator conservation. But no, they had everything. All the ingredients were there, and the way the town has gotten behind it, you know, is really great. We always make the joke, you know, Dan Reynolds is famous down there. Like everybody knows who he is, and they like him because he talks so funny. You know,
Yeah.
which is really kind of funny to
don't know what
you
you're
know, hear
talking
a,
about.
When you hear
a bunch of
Cajuns talking
Cajuns.
about
He says a boot. Yeah. That boy, he say a boot him. What's all that about? You know, it's really funny. But no, and you know, Dan's just such a nice guy. He fit right in down there. But we'll be doing our going out to DI's, which is, in my humble opinion, one of the best Cajun restaurants in South Louisiana. You know, we're going to be going out for the pilots and everything Friday night. Adam Gordon is cooking steaks, and I have had his steaks. Unbelievable. Make sure you don't miss that because he'll be feeding everybody.
The stakes are high.
They are awesome. They're so good. They're so good. And then, of course, you know, you got practice Friday.
Yep.
And then Saturday we'll have the big competition, and there'll be live music and the big feed Saturday night. You know, and you never go away hungry. You know.
Nope.
And they got a lot of great sponsors there that have helped them out with all of that. The city of Jennings has gotten behind them. It just keeps growing. And the commemorative Air Force is coming out with Warbirds. They'll be selling Warbird rides. You know, you can get yourself in. But you may have to go online, folks. Which camera's on?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, go online and get your tickets now because I've already heard that people are starting to make reservations for the T6 already. So if you want to ride in a T6 Texan, you better get online and get your reservations down. And if you don't have a hotel room yet, I don't know. You may be out of luck. We filled up both a Hampton Inn, a Days Inn, and a Motel 6 right there at the airport. We fill them up every year now. So, you know, get online and make your arrangements before you come in. Fly-ins are welcome, of course. Right now, guys, the weather's looking like it's not going to be too hot.
Yes.
We're all hoping for a nice northerly wind coming right down 1-7 so we can, you know, get some good scores. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I need to
I've
secure
got
my
Wednesday.
ride.
I'm going to get home. I got Wednesday to rest. And then right into Swamp STOL.
Yep.
Off we go. You know, it's going to be great.
Heck yeah.
And you guys will be there
We'll be there
in the booth.
in the booth.
Bringing it to everyone in person and on the interwebs. It's going to be good. We were just talking about that. It's going to be a fun one. So, and it's funny because I don't know if this is like unfair, but someone asked me yesterday, they're like, what is, out of all the events you do, right? Because we talked about this calendar, right? We've got 11 cities.
Sure.
We got a new one this year. We're going to be in St. Joe in Missouri, Pony Express STOL. That's a brand new one. Been to all these other places, and someone's like, well, what's your least favorite one? And I was like, I don't have a least favorite. I love all my children equally. But if there is a cruel mistress among them, it has been Swamp STOL, which I love. I love watching everyone work through the hard weather it always has had. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and now I'm almost a little disappointed that the weather may be amazing. Like
That we're really, really hoping for that. There might be a tad bit of rain Saturday, but it's been so dry, we think the ground's just going to soak it right up, and then we won't have another mud fest. You've been there for the mud fest too now.
Yeah, the mud. We had the
Ryan,
heat, we had the
you've
sleet,
been
we had the
there.
mud.
You've been there for all of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We put the swamp in Swamp Stool last year.
That's
Which,
right.
again, I thought was cool, except for we sold out the Tractor Supply and the Walmart from
Rubber boots.
Oh, yeah, all the rubber boots.
Yeah.
That is the only reason
that's
why I
absolutely
have some.
true. Yeah, we bought every single rubber boot in Jennings, Louisiana. There was no more rubber boots left.
Weird flex, but we did.
Yeah, we did. We did.
No, it's such a great event. It's great to kick off the season with it. The community rallies around it.
They really
There's
do.
So many people coming out to have a good time, and you can't find better hospitality than Jennings, Louisiana.
Yeah,
so it's totally worth the trip.
When you're there at the morning pilots briefing and the mayor's there, you're really getting that community support. That
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
makes a huge difference, And somebody asked me one time, they said, they asked me the same question. They said, well, why is Jennings, such a good fly-in? I said, because, you're offering something there. You just can't get that kind of food, that kind of
Right.
music, that kind of experience. And one of my favorites, definitely in my top 3, is like if you go to Gallatin and you go to Tennessee and Nashville's right there,
Right.
and there's people playing music and all this kind of stuff. And once again, you could get in a DC-3 and take a plane ride, and all this kind of stuff. These events, and I'm just going to say this as a founder, I had no idea how they were going to grow and what they were going to become. I mean, they're really becoming events in and of themselves at the airports that they come to, and the communities are really kind of like, oh man, National STOL's coming. It's like the circus coming to town,
Yeah.
Hey, National STOL's coming to town,
It's like an aerial carnival.
Oh, it is like an aerial, and it's so appealing because they get so close to the airplanes. Like normally, the closest anybody gets to an airplane taking off is when they drive by the airport and they look over the fence and there's somebody, taking 3 miles to take off in a Cherokee or whatever, But you come to a National STOL event and oh man, you're just right there. It's so exciting. There he goes, and then you get to meet the pilots and. They develop a favorite, and I'll tell you right now, the crowd favorites Dan Reynolds. Him and Steve Henry come, and people come out to see them in
Right.
particular and see how they do that year.
I think a few people come out to see you.
Well, that's just because I know a lot of people. And, they want to come out and see the Colonel and see if he messes up, so they can pick on me about it later.
I want to shift gears, and Cam, you and I were talking about this. We've got the 2025 season schedule. It kicks off next week at Swamp Stool. And Matt, you're downplaying it, but you did so much to found that and build that and lay the foundation for Adam.
Yep.
I'm sure he's grateful for everything you've done.
He's been awesome.
We're looking forward to the rest of the season. Anything that stands out for either of you, actually, that you're looking forward to the most? Like other events? Because Matt's sitting right here, we're all going to say that Swamp Stool's our favorite.
Sure.
Your second favorite
I'm like
event,
right
or
here.
just something that's new and exciting, right? That you're looking forward to, Matt or Cam, that you're looking forward to come out.
And this is a big shout out to Mr. Hall, who has worked really hard putting Gallatin together. We cry on each other as event hosts, because we all run into the same problems, And I'm kind of looking forward to some of the new events. Like I'm looking forward to this new event up in Missouri. I want to get up there and, for me, that's only like about a 2-3 hour flight. So once my plane's back up, I'll be able to get up there and come compete. And as I pointed out to you at Arklahoma last year, which is another great event, big shout out to Arklahoma. When you're not running one of those things, man, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of fun. The events are great, man. When you're not running them and you're not like working the event, and you're competing and I get to walk around and, in my little founder jacket and, you know, kind of just walk around and support. Man, it's wonderful. It's so much fun. There's a reason people make 4 and 5 national STOL events a year. You know, they are a blast, you know, and I can't encourage any of the pilots who might be listening to this at home, you know, come to a national STOL event, register, compete, you'll be a better pilot, and you'll have a good time.
And you'll make new friends.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think I'm looking forward to the Heritage STOL. I love Warbirds. I love that whole setup they have out there. Maybe we can talk to Keegan and into bringing out the ME-262 that he's going to bring to Oshkosh this year for the very first time.
It just flew like last week, right?
Yeah.
Now that's another event. And that's another thing. The events take on their own characteristics. You know, like if you go to, we went up to Tennessee. If you remember this year at Tennessee, my camper kind of became ground zero for music, you know, and I had a little propane fire pit, and we're all sitting around the little propane fire pit playing guitar. And I'm just going to be honest, you know, I started playing guitar, and some of these guys from Nashville came out and started playing, and I just put mine back in the case. I like very quietly put the guitar back in the case and close, and I was, I was like, wow, man, these guys are good. But the music in Nashville, the military history at Heritage STOL, you know, oh man, the sponsorship and the hospitality we got from the casino up at Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
you
Choctaw
know,
put it out
and
there.
Just hooping it up and having a good time everywhere we go. You know, and we had our fancy ball award ceremony, you know, which was very fancy. It was very fancy, you know, and that was all just great. You know, I enjoyed all of that. I'm gonna pack a suit next time, you know, maybe maybe
really
a tuxedo.
for that
Maybe this
one.
year, maybe this year I'll pack a suit.
This year's
you
going
know,
all
that
out.
was fun.
I want to give people a rundown in case they don't know what the schedule. We're talking about some of our highlights, but the whole thing is like the hits just keep coming with how great it's going to be. So Swamp STOL next week, Jennings, Louisiana. You mentioned Heritage STOL right after that in May 2nd and 3rd down at the Military Aviation Museum in Virginia Beach. After that, that new event, Pony Express STOL in St. Joe, Missouri. Then we're all the way up to the upper left part of the state of the United States with Oregon Trail STOL in Ontario, Oregon. Moses Lake's going to be huge. We're part of an air show.
Yes.
So if you're
That's
up
right.
in the Pacific Northwest, come out to that one. Hartford, Wisconsin, near and dear to my heart. That's where I learned to fly. You got to do that one right before Oshkosh. Rocky Mountain STOL in Pinedale, Wyoming in August as well. Late August, Clarion, Pennsylvania for Appalachian Mountain STOL.
Yes.
And then Oklahoma, which you mentioned, which, by the way, like on this beautiful air park that's being developed, it's like in a valley. There's like a castle or something like on top of a hill.
Beautiful house with an elevator.
Yeah.
I don't have an elevator
House
in my
with an
house.
elevator.
Elevator.
And then you talked about Music City STOL. That's mid-October. And then rounding out Lone Star STOL in Sulphur Springs. So if you list all those cities, we're kind of, I was explaining to someone this morning, we're hitting the coast pretty good. Everyone on each coast has an opportunity. And now with Pony Express and Hartford, you're in the central states.
That's right.
You got a bunch of good options. You want to go high and get mountain time, go to Pinedale. Like, it's so diverse, the piloting that you'll do
That's
to
right.
compete
Yep.
and what you'll see if you watch. So that's just really, it's really exciting to me to see it kind of come together over the last 5 years.
Yep.
It's just,
So even if you're a local pilot, you know, the coming soon to an airport near you, you know, you've got the National STOL Series, and you could come and compete, and look, don't worry about the scores. Worry about doing better. It's kind of like golf. The person you're trying to beat is yourself.
Yeah.
I scored my best score I ever scored right out here, 295 feet. I'll never beat it because I'll have a completely different plane. So, you know, so I know what I've got to do to beat my best.
right.
You know, I'm not trying to beat Joel. I'm trying to beat whatever my best was.
You're trying to beat Joel a little bit.
Yeah, okay, you're right. You got me on that one. I'm trying to beat Joel a little bit.
He's not here. We can
Maybe
say
a
that.
lot of it, but yeah. But so yeah, and look, you meet people and you learn things and you sit around the campfire and learn that you're not that good of a guitar player and all kinds of other things. You know, it's really something.
Speaking of Joel, I don't think the cameras will see him, but he is taxiing by us right now, following the
Yep, there he
follow
goes.
me car to go depart. So maybe we'll get a little little bit of plane noise right there. We've got
A little
about
bit of noise.
60 seconds before we have to wrap this up. Matt, any closing thoughts about the season or what people should be looking forward to?
I am excited. I'll be getting my engine back here shortly from the good guys at Airworks in Alabama. There will be no delay in reinstalling it because I'm just putting the same engine back into the same airplane. And I hope to be back out on the series soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to be coming and volunteering at as many events as I can. I just want to encourage people to get out there, come to a National STOL Series event, see what it's all about. You'll have a good time and you'll come away a better pilot.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely. Come volunteer. That was the thing we've been talking about, too. You're going to get so much access to something that you
absolutely
never would dream. It takes a village to put these events on, and you're going to be part of the family immediately.
Yes. It's such an incredible, welcoming community, man. We just can't wait to have you.
Awesome. We will be right back. We've got some more special guests coming after this who did something really secret and exciting this morning. I don't even know what it is. We're going to find out after a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Sun and Fun 2025 here in the National STOL tent booth thing right next to the Paradise City runway where the STOL Invitational has been happening all week. One more chance to see that, by the way, 7 p.m. tonight.
Yeah.
Very
it'll be a good
exciting.
time.
Got some gentlemen here who are helping out with that.
Yeah. A little help, a little flying in between. We got.
I'm helping, they're flying. Well, they're helping too.
Yep. But actually, some cool stuff happened this morning, didn't it?
Yeah, we had a good time. We wrangled up a couple pilots and have had the good fortune in the past to take some of the Blue Angels pilots flying and give them a backcountry experience. And this morning we were able to take some of their maintainers flying, which is really cool. Some avionics crew chiefs, some of their camera crew. They kind of rotate jobs as seniority changes. And we flew down south and kind of buzzed some trees and some crocodiles, and I mean, that was pretty cool seeing that. They were alligators.
There
you know.
are
I think they were
crocodiles here,
alligators.
though.
Are they crocodiles?
There are.
Crocodigators were, but it was, it's neat seeing them out in the wild versus the zoo. I'm from Utah, so we don't see that kind of stuff. So it's neat to come down here and not only have fun with airplanes, but get to see some of the local animals and things. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. So, who all flew, or can we say who all flew with who?
Well, the pilots. We had
pilots, yeah.
We had Levi and Warren. We had Doug, Austin Clemens, and Patrick McIntyre joined us. For these types of things, I'm typically the safety observer. We always want somebody that's, giving the briefing, keeping people safe. Not unlike anything we do at any event, right? Every event needs to be properly briefed. Safety briefings need to be handled. We need to make sure people are safe, and it sounds weird to say that, this is one of those things where we can't afford to hurt people. We really should be saying that for everything we do. But in this case, we're being hyper vigilant about if you're flying really low, you're flying really fast. If the engine quits, power and energy management, find a place to land. So we're flying places where it's easy to go land. We're not flying over the trees. We're flying down by grass strips and roads and things like that, just to be safe. And
Sure.
Warren ran circles around pretty much everybody because this airplane goes a whole lot faster than everybody else's, and he was actually literally doing loops around our airplanes while we were flying.
Yeah, I was basically on the STOL horn. My prop stopped at one point in time. Levi was like, "Warren, I think your prop just stopped," while I was trying to keep up. So I had to give her the gas, and then it was hard to keep up.
Let me ask you guys this: you put that thing together, you put in that extra time. It's a busy schedule for you here on the demo team, right? You're flying almost every night of the show. Why is it important to you to take that time on a Friday morning to give that experience to some of the Blue Angels team?
Well, first of all, as you know, we as pilots, we love to share our passion, and the people that we like to share it the most with are the people who appreciate it the most. And the people that support the Blue Angels and the Blue Angels themselves, they're a very valuable asset. They promote aviation, they promote the military side of it. And sometimes it's just really cool to get out and see other parts of it. So especially these people that we flew today, they're the ones that make the Blue Angels show what it is. The pilots get all the glory, but the kids and the young people that support this thing, that work hard every day. One of the girls that we flew this morning was actually, her main job was pre-flighting the airplane. She's the last line of defense between the pilot having a good airplane and a bad airplane. And that's a very serious role. So it's nice for them to get some reward for that and some fun, And we focus on fun, he focuses on safety. Between the two of us, we have safe fun. So, we need people like him, but we're not him, and we like to have fun. He adult supervision kind of thing, reins us in.
And a little bit on that, he mentioned with the Blue Angels and the crew chief. They're one of the few groups in the world that they walk out to their airplane and get directly into the airplane. This morning, it's pitch black outside, flashlights, they're pre-flighting their airplanes. But the Blue Angels put such trust in these maintainers. They walk out, they get in the airplane, and they're good. Things happen and things can break. They come back, they'll switch a jet. But imagine having that level of blind trust to just get in an airplane knowing somebody else has done that amount of work. And these airplanes don't fly without the maintainers. And we've become very friendly with a lot of the maintainers, a lot of the maintenance officers, past like Greg Jones and Henry, and a lot of these guys. They're just such great people. Everybody on the team is. I think they have something like 160 members on their team. They travel with about 50 plus the officers. There's, I believe, 16 officers on the team, and we wanted to make sure that when we have this unique ability, and this thing that's very normal to us being in the backcountry is very foreign to most people, right? I think that's why people love coming out and seeing the demo. That you guys have been announcing these demos for a long time, and you see people in the crowd for the first time, and they're just wowed that you can go do this thing. And for these guys, it's just a concentration type thing. It's an event. It's challenging. Safety is very paramount, but it's so great, like he mentioned, to take people that really appreciate it and understand the level of effort that goes into it, because not everybody does, but it's still fun to take them flying.
Sure.
And for I think most of this crew, sharing our passion with other people is our primary reason for being involved.
Yeah, it's why we're all in Florida right now. Why we'll be in Louisiana next week.
Yep.
Side note: who's coming to Louisiana? Warren? You gonna be there?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
What?
It's
All
too
right.
close to this one.
Weather permitting, I'm going to be there with the Storch.
Everyone send a little hate mail to Warren and say a lot of fan mail to Levi. See how I did that? I got your
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Well, hey, today, speaking of fans, today I was actually doubly blessed because, number one, I got to fly the maintainers for the Blue Angels, and I got to fly them in the Freedom Fox.
Oh, that's
nice.
So a lot of people know the Freedom Fox, Trent Palmer. He doesn't have it anymore, but my good friend Dave does. And since my Storch could not even come close to keeping it, he couldn't fly slow enough to stay up with the Storch. So I got to fly the Freedom Fox today and blow a little smoke and a little horn.
Yeah, yeah, so we're up next to him, and he's like, hey, you want to see some smoke? I'm like, yeah, throw some smoke. Smoke comes out, and I hear this, I'm like, you got a horn on that plane?
It does.
The smoke button and the horn button are the same button.
Oh,
Yeah, there is a horn on it.
So Trent put a horn on the plane first, and then he decided to put smoke on the plane.
right.
And he only had one button, so he just wired them together. And now you honk the horn, you get smoke. It's pretty cool.
The horn is loud enough for you to hear in the 180.
Yeah, when I'm at idle and the prop stops, it's a little quiet. and I was flying next to him. So
He was going slow to stay with me, so he had very little power, so it was quiet in his airplane.
Man, that's awesome. I heard him landing the other day, and I was like, that is a really loud horn, because I was halfway across campus and saw the plane come in and heard the horn and was like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, kudos.
It's a fun thing.
Half the other guys over there when we landed were like, man, we got to figure out how to put horns on our airplanes.
Yeah, everyone needs smoke. If I ever become president of the world, one of the first decrees will be every airplane needs to have a smoke system and a horn.
Smoke's not great for fabric-covered airplanes,
Yeah,
but it
these
sure
sound
is
like
fun.
these sound like
But it sure is
problems.
fun.
We're talking solutions today, right now, Roger.
Remember, I told you, he's the safety guy.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah. Smoke and fabric, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go. Throw
So
the
it's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
Talk to me. Let's talk a little bit about the STOL Invitational. We got the last showing of it tonight. What do you think folks can expect to see? How has it been the previous two nights for the two of you guys flying, and for you, Roger, on the sidelines helping bring it together?
It's been awesome, and it's an awesome, amazing show. And the star right here in that big silver 180 does things that lands that thing so short. You couldn't even believe a 180 could do that.
I was second to last night, so I'm not sure I'm the shortest, but it is fun. We're all out here doing what we love to do, and just like flying this morning, I could have taken anyone this morning, and it would have been fun because I'm flying with friends, that we don't get to see and hang out with as often as we should.
Yeah.
So doing what we're doing, like in the STOL demo, and there's a crowd and whatnot, but honestly, I just like watching the guys fly over the top of us and filming someone and sending them a video. Talking some smack, especially if you tip a flag with your wingtip or something like that. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
it's just a good time,
Well, we all do this for fun. And we would do it if nobody was watching.
100%.
In fact, we do it when nobody's watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the fact that people enjoy it as well, that's a double bonus for us. And when we can take somebody for a ride, that's even better. So the fact that we get to do this, I count my blessings every day that we get to even do this at Sun and Fun and fly during Sun and Fun is just an amazing opportunity. And so the fact that people enjoy it, that's just a bonus. That's a side bonus.
Yeah, and on that point, I've never had the interest to compete, and I love being on the sidelines because if I was competing, I wouldn't get to watch everybody from the sideline. It's so much fun, and we're hyper focused on safety. That I essentially focus on aircraft safety. We have Steve Thompson, who's here this weekend, comes to a lot of events with me, who you guys both know. He's on personnel safety, so we hit it from both sides to make sure that not only are the people on the side of the course safe, but airplanes are safe. And we're watching them in the pattern, and usually have a spotter with me. I'm watching the first 2 airplanes. Somebody's watching the second 2. We generally don't have many more than that in the air at one time, but it's just about being safe. And I'm nervous the whole time. Like, we're flying this morning. Every time we've done these flights with people, I'm nervous the entire time. Just are we doing the right things? We're having a good time. Everybody's watching out for each other. But when we're down and we land, it's just this big sigh, right? Like, everybody was safe. We had a great time. And like he said, these guys would do it if nobody was watching.
Yeah. But
man, it sure is fun. Like when Warren taxis, the crowd goes absolutely bananas when Warren taxis by in his airplane. People have billboards and signs they're holding up, and Warren's waving at them and revving his motor. It's a ton of fun. But like you said, we'd do it if nobody was there.
It's just because I pay them.
Yeah, I know you do.
They are the best hype crowd for any STOL competition that I've attended, and I've attended a lot of them. But this is specifically the one that I'm like, sweet. The crowd is going to get so engaged just because Warren's going to taxi out, and it's a whole bunch of his buddies. Got the fan club. And
hey, I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too. I mean, I'm screaming on the sideline like a little girl. Like, I'm just like, yee! But yeah, you got everybody out there for you, rooting for you, and
yeah, those guys are awesome. They're just friends of mine, and they're a great crew. A lot of them are airline guys and ATCs. But they got such good energy, and they're like that all the time, first of all. So I'm glad I'm friends with them, and I can tell you that, they infect the whole crowd. Like, if the first run they're not here, and they show up the second one, when I'm taxiing back and I see the crowd at the end going crazy, it's like I know the guys just showed up with the speaker,
Yeah.
Because they get the whole crowd going, and it's just awesome.
And they also bring a real competitive spirit to it, because I feel like in years past, it's not just cheering for you. It's like aggressive booing for everybody else.
Now, we don't want to talk about that part, do we?
It's sports, man. You gotta get behind your team.
Well, you do realize, and we all know this is not a competition.
Right.
Although the first day I did win.
Right. True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you how he won.
It's irrelevant.
Everybody else scratched. Everybody except Levi.
Hey.
And that's how you win.
That's called skill.
Yeah.
That is called
You know, when you play pool and the guy gets to the 8-ball, if he scratches on the 8-ball, the other guy wins. It's still a win. I won. I beat Dan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I mean, when is the last time that happened? Never.
What is that? What is the phrase? Perfect practice makes perfect performance.
That's exactly right.
That's you in it to a T.
I offered Dan a few pointers, and I shouldn't have, because last night I think he beat me. Yeah, but I was giving him pointers yesterday, and I told him, I might be able to help him out, and apparently it did. It worked.
You'd explain to him how the controls of the aircraft
I
work?
think he was having a little trouble figuring out pull back at the last moment.
Right. Yeah,
add a little power
houses
if you're
get
short.
bigger, houses get smaller.
If you're a little short of the line, you got to add a little power to get across.
Yeah.
But he figured it out last night and stomped me.
He stomped everyone.
Yeah. But his plane is not really an airplane. We all know that.
That's true.
It doesn't look like an airplane.
No. But it
literally says not an airplane.
It does look fun.
We got a guy in the peanut gallery over here who says that it looks beautiful because he's got one of the same things. He's got a Chinook.
Weird.
But hey, we all love Dan, and we love everybody, and even Warren.
I think the thing that even Warren, the thing that he's hearing right now, and we've heard all week, is the camaraderie is way beyond what I think anyone would expect. I was joking about, they do actually boo people, but that doesn't matter to you guys.
It's all in fun.
You are all competing out there, and then around the campfire, it's tips, tricks, whatever. There's a little bit held a little close, I think, in terms of numbers and fuel, calculations and things. But it's an open book almost, it feels like. I'm surprised at how the willingness of everyone to share everything to keep everyone improving and be better.
To your point, go talk to Steve Henry sometime. He'll sell you his old airplane, UH-6 for sale right now. If you want his exact airplane that he has now, he'll help you build it. They want competition, right?
Yeah.
He's not holding anything back. Granted, he'll show up to an event and everybody's kind of like, wait, what's that on the top of your wing? He showed up with spoilers one time. Now we all know. But, he has some tips and tricks. But if you asked him, hey, I'd like to build an airplane with 400 horsepower Sidewinder, I want to beat you, he'd say, okay, come
Yeah.
beat me. Let's build it. Let's put an airplane together and come beat me. Because, we all want the competition.
Right.
I love watching it. I love being involved. They love flying it. Like you said, they're going to give each other crap just like anybody else would. But they're literally going to give you the keys to the tool shed.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, here's everything you need to build it, and we'll help you do it. So
Yeah.
Really driving that innovation. That's been one of the stories as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where are we going to see you guys this year? You're not coming to, so you're dead to me. You're not coming to Swamp Stoll. But Warren, where are you going to be this year? Because we got 11 options for you.
Sodbusters, Music City, and Lone Star are above 50% on my calendar. Everything else runs around 10. High Sierra runs around like 2 because it's so far away.
Yeah.
But like Oshkosh, that's a hard one I want to try to make. So do that one on the way. Music City's not far from us, and family lives pretty close by, so that's one I want to do. And then obviously the final will be good. The rest are all on the calendar. It's just whether it works or doesn't.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to be texting you.
You said.
Start pre-flighting right now, buddy.
As for me, I'd like to be at every one of them, but unfortunately, I do have to pay for this stuff, and it's not always easy to find the time and the money at the same time.
Yeah.
So I can't make them all, but I know Karen's been trying to get me to Virginia, so they've got a real Storch up there that I might get to park next to. Don't think I'll get to fly it, but that would be awesome, and I'll definitely be at Lone Star, and probably Music City. But,
Maybe some Oklahoma, since it's kind of close.
I might be at Oklahoma. I might pop up anywhere. You just never know. Last year there was a couple I couldn't make in the Storch because the speed of the Storch is just too dang slow. And Pat McIntyre was kind enough to let me borrow his plane for 2 of them. And those worked out really good for me. In fact, one time I did beat Pat in his own plane.
So, we're hearing a lot about how you're winning a lot, Levi.
I'm not really, though. I never get to win, so that's why I got to promote.
You beat Dan.
Yeah.
You beat Pat in his own plane.
Well, see, I didn't really. So Pat and I were in different categories. We were in different classes in the same airplane, and I think I flew unlimited. My score was like 2 feet better than his, but I didn't actually.
All that matters.
It's all that matters. Yeah,
1
we
foot,
weren't in the
2
same
feet.
deal, so he got the trophy, but I still beat him.
As long as you can talk smack at the end of the night around the fireplace, I don't need a trophy.
Yeah, I don't get trophies. I get bragging rights.
Oh, I don't know if you heard that. Levi just said, I don't get trophies, I get bragging rights.
And Roger, where
for
you going to be at?
We're helping out at a bunch of events this year. Obviously, we're here and having a great time. Valdez is next for us. We're just going to go help out there. Let's see, going to be at a bunch of blues shows this year. Anybody hasn't figured out, I'm a huge blues fan, and we're going to probably do some work with the Thunderbirds in Colorado this year. Probably take the Canadian Snowbirds flying again in Oregon.
Yeah.
So it's organizing that. We're going to have the Reno Air Races have moved to Roswell, so we'll be there doing that at STOLDrag. And as Warren mentioned, his 2% on the High Sierra flying, which let's get that at least to 5%. But that's now going to run every other year, so people can kind of really plan for that one, make it a big fun event.
I'm going to try it myself.
Yeah, that's such a great event. It's dirty. You just have to understand that it's the fine dirt. It's going to get in everything, and it's going to stay there for forever. You're going to have High Sierra in your airplane forever, but it's such a super fun event.
Increases the empty weight of your airplane every time by just a little bit.
You get a 5 High Sierras and you lose 20 pounds on your full load.
Are you going to be flying your aircraft to High Sierra?
No, I don't want to bring a brand new airplane up there. We did just finish building the RV-14, so that's pretty exciting. Not sure what I'm going to do, but may sell both airplanes and get into something big tire related. But the mission has changed. I needed to go high and fast before, but after 9 years and 3,500 hours of combined work between my dad and I to build that airplane, missions change in a decade. So I don't know, may keep it, may been kind of looking the Bearhawk 5, been talking to Virgil over there, and of course Doug and Levi kind of pointed me at the Badlands Traveler and showed me how neat that was. That's what's so cool about this is there are so many choices, and none of them is a bad one, except for maybe a Zenith. No, I'm just kidding. I just saw Sheldon, so I was just trying to give him some.
Yeah, or Russ's brother. No bad choices except for the Chinook, except when Dan flies it.
No, but that's what's so cool about being here is depending on your mission and your budget. Like Ruckus is over here, and I think for about $40,000 you can buy a Ruckus and get an engine, and that 1,000-pound useful load. I mean, there's so much out here. Got Kit Foxes and Rands, and I mean, there's just so many options, and there's more that. I feel like we're all very in tune with aviation, but we come here and we see new model after new model after new model. A lot of them coming out of Europe.
Yeah.
And we see the Sling and things like the Tarragon, which not backcountry really, but going fast. The VL3. Gosh, there's so much to see here. That's awesome. That's why it's hard to pass up these events. Yeah. The worst part's just the heat and walking around.
Right.
I just want to clear one thing up. As far as all of this trash talking and bragging rights. To be honest, like we said earlier, we fly that we would do this for no money, no trophy, no nothing. We just do it because it's kind of like we like to get together and do it.
Yeah.
For the most part, I don't even consider myself a competitor. I just get to be a spectator with a backstage pass because I get to play in the same field as greats. And that is a lot of fun. We mess around. I had to mess around with Dan because Dan and Steve, they're always, the top. They switch back and forth between 1 and 2. But both of those guys, remember Eddie Sanchez said it best. He said that Steve Henry was the rabbit that we all chase. And both of those set, and Keith Lang now also, they set the standard for innovation and experimental aircraft. They really set that bar high. And nobody practices harder than both of those two. They practice all the time. They work on their planes. They get them right. And they show the world, they show the rest of us how to do it. So we admire everybody. And Warren here, same thing with his 180. He's done amazing things with that thing. Different classes. That's why we fly different classes. But everybody's great, and I'm just honored to be among them. So.
You have a way with words, sir.
You have a way with
it sounds beautiful. Just keep going.
Warren's great.
Let's talk a little bit about that we have a few minutes before we have to wrap up. I'm curious. I want to get your perspective on this. Last season, we saw a big disruption with the Badlands Travelers showing up. The innovation hit so hard. Was at Moses Lake. Jeff Daly's dropping these crazy numbers down. It was really windy and really challenging conditions, and he put in these big numbers. That changed the entire rest of the season, right? The Badlands started, more and more of them started coming online. You've got Brian Steck in a super custom MOAC who's trying to beat him back, right? Right. You've got Keith Lang now with that modified air bike, which is insane. How does that drive for you guys as you see that happening? I know you're in different classes. Like Warren, you're in a certificated class, but you still have innovation that you can execute. Same thing, you've got the Storch. How does that push you guys and make you think about how the season will end up for you?
It doesn't push me other than the fact that, I have pure admiration for that entire spectacle. It's kind of like, I used to race Miatas, but Formula One is really cool, those cars got faster. I love it. It didn't affect the way my Miata worked, unfortunately. And then that's just the reality of being in a certificated class. I'm always looking to improve. That's kind of the inspiration maybe that I get from it. If a new prop comes out or some new parts come out, we built the suspension for the Acmes a few years ago. There's always this will to do some more stuff there, but we're so far apart. It's super awesome to watch them. I mean, there's nothing cooler than watching a plane just get off the ground or land and stop in 5 feet. Yeah.
Well, they're not in my class either, but the sport class, as you know, is the biggest class usually. And so the innovation in there has made it where I just like to have fun. And that's why I say I'm just a spectator with a backstage pass, because I don't have the time or really the desire to go to that level. But I love watching it. And it's amazing to watch those things. Now, the Badlands Traveler is a Badlands Traveler, buddy. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I've flown them, and it's amazing what they've done, what Clint has done with the wing. You know, the wing flies fast and it flies slow without any help. You know, now when they put slats on them, it even doubles that, you know, or doubles the slowness. It's just an amazing airplane, and we love to watch it. You know, we still like Jeff, even though he stomped everybody. You know, and he's a great kid. You know, great guy. I say kid. He's a little younger than me, but he's a great guy.
He's also really good at trash talk.
He really is. You know, I stopped and saw him just the other day. I was flying a different airplane, and he was literally flying circles around us. We were flying that backcountry Super Cub Boss, the big. And I'm gonna tell you, that thing is some innovation coming, and that's in his. That's in your league. I mean, are they going to do the certified? Are they going to?
I don't know what they're going to end up doing with that, and that's fine.
You'll probably be fighting that thing off a little bit.
Because it's a
in there.
four-seat. It's a four-seat airplane. It'll haul what? Actually, it'll probably haul more than a 180. So it might wind up being in your class. And that little booger, or actually big booger, that thing is an amazing machine. It's a beast, and they call it the boss because it is kind of a boss.
Yeah.
And you're going to see Bearhawk coming in, right? Like McCardle,
Yeah.
what I've heard, is building an absolute monster, right? That's going to be competitive in that, I think, heavy touring. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's where it's going to be. But that's what's great about the classes. That's a sixth place, something like 1,450-pound useful load. So he's going to fly in with the Traeger, the blacktop, a cooler, a generator.
wow.
He's going to unload all that stuff. He's going to have this, you know, Taj Mahal tent out there, and then he's going to go compete in the heavy touring class and absolutely slay it, I'm sure. So the innovation that we're all seeing, you're now seeing it with Badlands, you're seeing it with Bearhawk, and I'm sure there's more coming that we haven't even heard of yet.
Speaking of something coming that we haven't even heard of, that was the worst transition I could have made, but Karen's got something massive happening right behind her. We've got a birthday on the crew we wanted to celebrate live here. You guys want to help me? Get up here, buddy.
Mr. James Ward. It's his 30th
James
birthday.
Turned 30 today. Levi's got to sing for us. Look at that. You were talking about a monster. Look at this monster cake we just brought in. So, folks, we're going to celebrate here. Who's going to lead us off?
Happy birthday
okay, Levi's doing
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you.
All right, folks. That is it from here at Paradise City National STOL Sun and Fun 2025. Thank you to our panelists. Happy birthday, buddy. We got to get some candles in this or whatever for you. We will see you guys tonight, 7 p.m. More STOL action.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. We'll see you guys soon.